Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So, in the secular world today, it is Martin Luther King Day. And in the Jewish world today, it is Tu Bishvat. And I wanted to lead a practice that actually connects some themes from both of those so that we could honor the day in real time. One of my favorite teachings by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that darkness can't drive out darkness, only light can do that. Love can't drive out hate. Now I'm getting the quote wrong. I had it this morning.
Hate can't drive out hate.
Thank you. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. It is love that drives out hate. Okay, take two. Right? Hate can't drive out hate. Only love can do that. So these themes of love is going to be important in today's practice. And not just giving love and how we emanate love outward to others, but also our ability to receive love. Because Kabbalistically, the word Kabbalah, the mystical Jewish tradition of Kabbalah, literally comes from the root word kabel, which means to receive. And it's all about our own ability to be open and receptive to receive love and nurturing from the divine, from our life, from the earth, from other souls and beings who we connect with, to the extent that we can receive love and feel really deeply immersed in and connected to the flow of love coming into us. To that degree, we can then emanate love out in the world in a way that it does dispel hatred and darkness. And how this relates to Tu Bishvat is that Tu Bishvat is a very Kabbalistic holiday. And at the center of the holiday is the tree, the Eitz Chaim. The Eitz Chaim, and a tree is on a very real level, the tree connects us, it's the earth. Trees give us life, they give us oxygen, they give us shade and shelter and food and fruit and places, habitats for animals. I mean, trees are so integral to the life of this planet and to our own life. So we're celebrating trees in reality. We're also honoring and celebrating a tree as the embodiment, the metaphor for deep, deep connection with the earth, with presence, with our own physical embodiment, but also this reaching up and connecting to the heavens, to the divine, to the universal. So the tree of life itself, Kabbalistically, is all about divine union and divine connection, recognizing that in our own body, we have God. In our own body, we have the earth. All of these attributes come together within us and within the tree, right? It is a source of life for those who hold fast to it. Eitz Chaim hi shemachazikim ba, right? It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it. This awareness of God and of love in all moments. So I want us to start actually with a meditation. And this meditation comes from a Catholic mystic, because it's really all the same. When we're talking about oneness and understanding the presence of God in our lives and in our bodies, it is all the same, whether it's Jewish mysticism, Islamic Sufi mysticism, Catholic mysticism. This comes from a teacher, Judy Cannato, and from her book, Field of Compassion, How the New Cosmology is Transforming Spiritual Life. And it's about receiving love. And I'm going to add and riff off of her meditation, because when I did this meditation, where it brought me to naturally was a place of feeling deeply loved by the earth. Even though she doesn't say that in her meditation, but let me just read a little bit to you. I'm going to give you the instructions ahead of time. I'm going to give you her meditation instructions. And then I'm just going to be silent and let us go into a silent meditation, as opposed to me talking you through the meditation. So here's what she says. She says, the entire history of the universe has been the history of the outpouring of love. God creates in order to give God's self away in love. All that creation has ever been invited to do is accept this gift of love. Unfortunately, in our orientation towards action, we have forgotten that we are merely receivers. Being loved disarms us, brushes away our ego defenses, and then exposes us not only to the other, but to ourselves. And it is from ourselves that we most often hide our gaze. Everywhere the Holy One is shouting and whispering, let me love you. And all that is asked of us is to receive. In reality, that is our life's work, nothing more, and certainly nothing less. So here's the meditation instruction. Sit quietly, bring to mind those who care for you in the present and in the past. As you recall each person, receive the love that is there for you. Let it into your heart. Even if someone has a quirky way of showing love, receive the love. Sift through the dysfunction if you have to, but receive the love. Never mind if the person has never said, I love you. Receive the love one by one. Hold all that love in your heart. Let it penetrate your whole being. And I'm going to add to that, after you do this exercise with people in your life, past and present, come to a place of the earth and let the earth pour into you and receive the love from the earth, and specifically from trees or a specific tree that you want to call into your meditation, and allow yourself to see it, touch it, sit under it, hug it, really whatever it is, experience and receive the love from that tree. That's the place we're going to come to at the end of the meditation. And you're just going to allow yourself to receive, receive, receive. I'm going to let us sit in meditation for about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. So that's the invitation now. You want to bring your attention to your heart center. Just find yourself breathing there. So every inhale expands outward from the heart. And every inhale is receiving. Sorry. Inhaling, you can expand outward or you can receive. Really choose how it feels to be filled up. But there's this exchange of drawing in, being receptive, and then also emanating outward. Inhaling, I receive and am filled by the love of this earth. Exhaling, I offer my love back out to others. If you'd like to just bring your hands over your heart and set any intention you have for today's practice, whatever your personal intention is. As you're ready, you can open your eyes. So forgive me for my foibles in language today. It's definitely like the Mercury retrograde is like, my mind is like thinking something, but it's just not coming out and translating, which is fine. Also, I will say that astronomically and astrologically, Tu Bishvat, Tu is Tavav, which is 15. It's the 15th day. It's the full moon in the month of Shvat, which is, we're in Capricorn season. So the full moon, the Tu Bishvat moon, is always the moon in Cancer. The moon in Cancer is the mother. It is the mother, which is the earth, which is Shekhinah, which is the feminine presence, right? Which is like, how do we bring love? It is the embodiment of love in the physical body, in the physical realm. So very interesting. And that all connects with Tu Bishvat and those things. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a standing practice to get really rooted and to really take on this feeling of tree-ness. So come stand. Okay. Much on the screen as I can. I know, like, I can never figure out how to get my whole face on the screen with my body. All right, so how I want you to start is just in Tadasana. In yoga, we say that Tadasana is within every other pose. It's this feeling of standing very firmly. The feet are rooted and planted on the earth, right? So look down at your toes, spread the toes. You might want to lift and spread them. Feel as if you have an arch lifting from the inner heel to the big toe. And then you could place the toes back down. You want to feel rooted down through your heels, through your toes, all four corners of the feet. And you can imagine that you are a tree and that these are the roots connecting you deep, deep, deep into the earth, into that realm of connection, right? Really solid. And then from that place, you feel solid in the legs. The muscles draw into the bones. You know, it's not a clenching, it's an integration, a feeling of like a lot of strength. Good. The pelvic bone, the pelvis is neutral. You're just standing upright, the belly's drawing in, there's strength. Again, it's not gripping and where you can't breathe. And then there's a lot of ease in the upper body. So we're going to play with that. So just little bit of lightness and flow in the upper body, even though the legs, the tailbone, the pelvis are nice and strong. Good. And then you're going to bring the hands to the center. We're going to inhale here and exhale. And you can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. You can do this at your own pace, whatever pace your breath wants to be. If you want to slow it down, slow it down. And each movement, this flow of your arms, your branches through the air, even that could be very loving, right? Feel like this air that nurtures and fills me with breath, with life force. And my movement through that feels loving. All these ways that God, the universe, sustains me in being. Good. We're going to bring our arms up and then let them flow back down to the heart. So just stay with that motion. And you may imagine that you're actually sweeping up light, energy, and then bringing it back down, like flowing it down through the central channel. And this is very much, it's circular, right? And even a circle is an embodiment of a certain kind of energy, of wholeness, of oneness. The inhale and the exhale, it's taught by Jewish mystics that it is the name, the unpronounceable name of God. The inhale is the sound of a yud hey. The exhale is the sound of vav hey. So that the breath itself is the awareness and the presence of God inside of you, outside of you, that there is no separation. All right, we'll do a little bit of a twisting here. So with the hands at the heart, you're gonna inhale one arm back, one arm forward, and twist around from the hips. And then exhale it back through the center and inhale the other way. And again, instead of being human in this moment, feel as if you are the tree. Really embody that feeling. And this feeling again of giving and receiving, right? What comes in through me flows back out through me. All the ways that I'm filled and I allow myself to receive actually serves my ability to then be someone who is giving and generous. All right, one last variation on these standing movements. We're going to do what I learned from Qigong is, and a lot of these are Qigong movements, by the way. This is called connecting heaven and earth. So the hands come through the center, and we're going to take like a little side bend, one hand reaching down to the earth, the other palm open, reaching up towards the sky. And then you meet again through the center. So drawing heaven and earth together at the heart. And then again, extending in a little side bend. And it all integrates in this place of heart-centeredness. And the next time your hands come down to the heart, you can rest there for a moment and just feel the energy of your body, like the sap flowing through you. Just feel your body pulsing with life. And feel yourself as a channel, a connector between the heavens and the earth. With eyes open or closed, you're just going to, with an act of trust and faith in yourself for a moment, you're just going to lift your heels up off the ground and come into a little balance towards the tops of your feet, the ball mounds, the toes. See if you can find that balance. And then you may want to do it with your branches open for a little bit better support, and you can certainly open your eyes. So just lifting into a balance here. Yeah. And again, trusting the earth, finding your place in the center. Yeah. And feel free to go to a wall and then just come back down. All right. Just shake out your legs a little bit. Nice. All right, let's move a little bit from the front of the mat. Let's open up, do some hips, do some strong standing poses. And we're going to remember to try to access this energy of both being receptive and open, as well as being this channel very rooted and connected. Okay. So you can start from the front of your mat, hands at your heart, a smile on your face. Yeah, thanks for showing me your smile. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees as you fold forward and down. Just shake yourself out side to side in this first forward fold of the morning. Good. With the knees bent, draw the belly in and up to protect the low back. Slowly roll yourself back up to stand. You can take a few shoulder rolls here, up and back and down, finding the strength in your feet again, in your legs, and hands to your heart, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, again, folding down over the legs. This time on your inhale, you come to that flat back. Belly comes in, shoulders draw back towards each other. And then with the knees bent, fingertips can come down to the floor. Step your right leg all the way back behind you. Good. And you're going to come up for a high lunge. That back heel is off. The hips are both reaching forward. Front knee is bent. Keep your hands here low for a moment, just at the hips. And just get your sense of stability. So finding that sense of treeness, even though our legs are in different directions now, there's more muscle that needs to be involved to create that stability. But it's the same awareness of rootedness, solidness, strength, right? The belly is strong here, drawing in that neutral pelvis. Yep. Good. And then see if you can bring your branches up. Good. And you can bring the hands down to the heart. Let's do a few circles here. Try not to lose the bend in that front knee. Maybe you can even bend it deeper for another couple of breaths. I'm definitely feeling this in my leg muscles. This is a lot of strength. A lot of strength. Good. All right. And from here, you're going to take your right hand, bring it to the floor or a block. And we're just going to take a twist here. So you can take your left arm up to the sky. Again, you're staying in the bend of that front knee. You're reaching the back heel back. Belly draws in. And we're opening up through the heart here. So feel the shoulder blades melt towards each other on the back body, supporting the back of the heart to be open. And then breathe as much as you can in, get the breath all the way up through the chest. And you could take a few back strokes with that arm if your shoulder is healthy. So if you are, wherever you are practicing, if you have a view out of a window and you can see a tree, draw that energy into your practice, right? Notice the beauty, notice the gracefulness, the strength, the love. Good, you're gonna bring both hands down to the floor and you're gonna step yourself back to a downward facing dog. And take a moment in your down dog to feel solid here as well, right? This feeling of treeness, of am I rooted down? Am I pressing down through the feet? Are the muscles in my legs engaging in towards the bones? And then receiving breath here, rather than doing, actively breathing the breath, just be breathed. Maybe being grateful in this moment, thanking God for your breath. All right, you can walk the feet up towards the hands. And you can take opposite elbows if you like, or let the arms dangle. You're just gonna twist side to side here. And then bend the knees, rolling up. Hands to the heart, and we'll do the second side. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, bowing forward. You can keep legs straight now if you feel ready for that. Inhale halfway to lengthen the spine. Good. Exhale, hands come to the mat. That left foot steps all the way back. Right knee is deeply bent. And you're peeling yourself up for the high lunge. Yeah. And just find your stability. Find your roots. Find your trunk. Find your open heart. Yeah. Good. And this time we're going to breathe outward. Inhale and exhale. And you can lift those branches up, final expression of the pose. Send some loving energy to that hip, to your muscles. Good. And then the left hand is going to come down to the floor or the block. And we're taking that twist. If you need to get deeper, a wider spread between that front and back foot, you can kind of just shift that back foot back a little more. And you're just opening up into the twist. Whenever we extend the arms all the way out in opposite directions from each other, it goes right through the center of heart chakra. This is heart chakra. So even imagine that your fingertips are like antennae, and they're just drawing in loving energy from the earth, from the tree outside your window. It's like that tree is breathing and showering you with life energy. Yeah. And then imagine you're actually giving back out to it, right? Like you're communing. We're communing with nature all the time. We're not something separate than it. We are of it, and it's like we forget. We think that everything around us is inanimate, but it's not. It's fully alive. It's breathing. It's pulsing. So it's, we can commune with that and engage with that. Good. If you're circling your arm here, just to open the shoulder, that feels good. All right, and we're going to come back to our down dog again when you're ready. So plant the hands, spread the fingers, get a nice point of contact with the fingertips, the palms. And again, just receive in your down dog. Instead of doing, just be and receive. As you're ready, you'll look up between your hands, walk the feet towards your hands. And again, opposite elbows if you'd like, or if you want more shoulder opening, you can take the arms up behind you, palms face each other, interlace the fingers, and do a little extra shoulder opener. This will also feel like a bigger stretch into the low back, a little extra weight and gravity. Release the arms. Allow yourself to roll up slowly. All right, we're going to do a tree pose. So very simple, and if you need a wall, take a wall. Let's actually, let's just do a basic tree pose first, and then we'll open hips and do some other variations. So you're gonna stand firmly on your right leg and lift up the left leg. Yeah. And then you're gonna gently open that hip. So you're just rolling the knee outward, and then that foot either comes to the upper thigh or to the calf. Just do not press it directly into the knee. It needs to be above or below the knee. And wherever you are, the foot is pushing into the inner thigh or inner calf, and the inner calf is pushing back to the foot. So they're making this connection. Your standing foot is really rooting. So again, just feel this embodiment of strong, solid, integrated. You can look outside your window for inspiration. Almost like there's a tree right in front of me outside that window, big old oak tree. And it's almost like I'm standing face to face with a dance partner, right? How we meet ourselves in the other. And that tree is standing there like inviting me into this dance, and its branches are reaching towards me like, hold my hands here. Yeah. And then you can play with your branches. It's a windy day out, right? You can play a little bit in that movement. And we've moved at the beginning of this practice in all of these different directions, right? The side bending and the twisting. Yeah. So just drawing in your own energy, sweeping in all of that love that's being poured into you. Yeah, and then release it out when you're ready. Yeah, dance it out, dance it out. Let's do a little bit of a kind of hip circle here. Just because the tendency is, especially if you're not integrating and using your adductors and your core, sometimes you use your hip to hold you in that balance, and then you get a little tight there. So we want to just kind of Yeah, you can like do even a little massage in those outer hips here. Yeah. Okay, let's do the other side. So standing up nice and tall and firm. You're going to keep all the weight rooted down now through the left leg, and lift up the right knee. Yeah. Just find your balance there. Then you're going to open, 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 open. Yeah. And then placing the foot wherever it's able to or wanting to go. And as you wobble, it's a great opportunity to be joyful. So no one said that receiving love needs to be miserable, or finding our strength and building our strength needs to be like, oh, this is so, right? This is all about the dance. It's all about the flow of love, the flow of energy, that understanding we're just part of this earth. Yeah. So what does help is trying to find a steady gaze somewhere. That does help. What does help is trying to feel like everything's pulling together at the center line, because the more you come to the center, the more it naturally engages the core, which is our like energy strength center, right? So the feet are nice and strong. Yeah. And you can just stay right here at the center if that helps you. Like bring your hands over the belly and just find grace, poise, patience, serenity. There's a beautiful poem I love. I don't know the whole thing by heart. I have the book. I can read it to you at the end, but it's about trees, right? So if you didn't like play with your branches, you could do that. Trees are the loveliest things I know. They do no harm, but merely grow. I'll read it to you at the end, the whole thing. So you just find your tree. Whee! La la la. All right, and then you can release it out. Nice. Okay. Why don't we do one more? Let's see where we're at with time. Okay, so you guys wanted some hip stuff, right? Let's do, if you have a bolster nearby or you have blocks nearby, get those. Let's do like a nice, like a lizard hip opener. I feel like that would be a really nice thing. So just keep your blocks nearby. Let's start from the front of the mat. You can inhale, your arms up overhead. Exhale, folding down, open the legs. Inhale, halfway up. You're going to step your right foot all the way back. You're starting in that lunge again. So come on up for 1 or 2 breaths. Just find that lunge. Could be like a little cactus here. Good. Okay. You're going to take your hands to your heart. You're going to lean yourself forward right here. Good, good. If you want to take a warrior 3 balance here, you can. So you don't have to, but that's an option before we move into the lizard. So you would just step your weight, kind of step that back foot in a little bit, tip forward, and see if you can just find a balance on one leg. And then step that foot back into the lunge. You're going to gently lower down onto that back knee. Yeah. And then you're going to take, let me show it to you this way. Okay, so here I am. I'm in a low lunge now. I'm going to take my blocks and rest my forearms to the blocks to the inside of that front thigh. And I may need to create more space, right, between the back knee and the front hip. And I'm just going to hang out here and find whatever I need to relax. If I want, I'll show you with a bolster. You can also bring a bolster there and kind of lean down there, or maybe even bringing the bolster and laying out, but that's pretty deep. So it depends where you want to go. And in this pose, instead of thinking about resisting or doing, can you have a sense of receiving? What is What is pouring love into you? And what can you receive in this pose? You can just lower this. See? Okay. You can heel toe that left foot a little wider out to the side. Or I don't know which side you guys are on, but that the front bent knee. And then you can roll to the outer pinky toe edge. Take your hands, again, not on the knee. You never press directly on the knee joint, but on the inner thigh. And you can just gently, like you're pressing the flesh away from you. So you're just opening up a little bit more space again in the hip joint, in those inner thighs. If you want to take this even one step farther, these are stages or kramas. You don't have to go here, but here you are now from your lizard to a little bit here. If you want, you can bend the back knee. And from bending the back knee, maybe you reach around. It's the opposite hand reaching for that back foot. And this is a variation, sometimes called Shiva Pose, but just getting a little extra quad stretch opening, a little extra opening across the heart. If you don't want to do that, maybe just extend that arm back. So again, you feel like you're doing that little bit of twist open through the heart. Yeah. All right. And then release all of that out. You can step yourself back into either a child's pose or a down dog. You might notice that one hip feels really different than the other hip right now. So just receive information about that, about how that pose worked in your body. All right, and we're gonna do the second side. So again, you can walk your feet up to your hands. Keep your props nearby. You okay? You're still able to stand and move? I'm watching you guys. I think that pose kind of maybe did tummy you in. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold down over the legs. Inhale, halfway up. Okay, you're gonna step that left foot back now. Come into the high lunge. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you remembered the cactus arms. Good on you. I didn't remember the cactus arms. Good. And then from here, again, hands to the heart, or you could bring your palms behind you, like palms open, reaching back. And you're coming into this almost like a rocket ship, like an arrow here. You might step that back foot in a little closer to start. Make sure your front toes and foot are really strong, grounded. Draw in this essence of tree, strong, rooted, solid, coming forward into your variation of a warrior 3 balance. And it's okay to wiggle and wobble. You're finding your strength, right? You're trying to be present. Good. That back foot comes back down. You're going to lower the knee to the ground, right? Take any adjustments you need to get a good distance between that back hip and that front knee. Yep. And again, blocks. Maybe you don't want blocks at all. Maybe you're coming straight to the floor. Wherever you're at, you just want to bring the floor up to a level where you can stay here. It's intense enough, but not so intense that you're in pain or that you can't find your breath or that you're unable to receive. You soften your neck, your throat. Can you let the breath get deeper? Let the breath really descend into the belly. And then from here, again, choices. You can heel toe that foot over a little wider and then roll to the outer blade of the foot and just gently lean back away. So you're in that feeling of that twist we did in the lunge. Yeah. And if you would like to bend that back leg, foot, and maybe reaching back around. And again, finding the heart opening pose there, as well as that quad stretch. You can't not feel the quad stretch. Yeah. Good. All right. We're going to release this, come into a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees are apart. If you've got your bolster nearby, that might feel really nice right now, is just take a child's pose, laying out over the bolster. If you have blocks, you could do the same with blocks, bringing a block under the belly, another block forward for your forehead. Just feel the earth receiving your weight. And imagine, I know whatever material you're lying on right now, maybe a quote unquote man-made material. You're not directly out in the field on the earth, but you are on the earth. So imagine just drawing energy in, again, like feeding you. And as you're ready, we're going to take the pose onto your back. And let's finish with a little bit of an inversion, since we didn't really get any inversion today yet. So you'll come lie on your back. You can bring both feet up to the sky. And just adjust your hips, make sure you have a sense that the belly is pulling in, grounding the low back. And just point and flex through the feet. You can circle through the ankles. Good. And let's just take a little tree pose here. Again, you can either bring the foot to the inside of the thigh here. Yeah. Or if you want a little bit more into your glute, you could bring the ankle over the top of the thigh. Yeah. And you're going to keep the other leg straight up there. And you're just going to reach, just draw your shoulders up off the ground, reach your fingertips. Maybe you can get a clasp behind the calf. And just reach yourself in here. If you're able to take whatever clasp you have on that leg and then let your shoulders and head drop back down and draw that leg in towards your chest. Haha. That'll be a big calf stretch, hamstring stretch. You got the hip stretch going on. Yeah. See if you could bend the elbows. Good. And then bend both knees, rock side to side. And switch sides so your other foot reaches up to the sky. And one foot comes into that tree pose. You're just trying to open up the hip. Yeah. Or you could bring the foot across, your choice. And then you're gonna lift your shoulders and head up off the ground as you walk your fingertips up towards your ankle. Engage your core here. So the belly is pulling into the spine, the low back is pressing down on the ground. And then see if you can, you might need to bring the hands closer in again, but you're gonna lower the shoulders back down, lower the head back down, bend those elbows and draw that leg in closer to your face. I try to keep the opposite knee reaching away from you. Yeah. And then again, bending the knees. And you can circle around on that sacrum bone. All right, we'll just finish with a recline twist, both to one side then the other. Couple of options here. One option is keeping both knees bent, arms out to the side, and you allow both knees to drop to one side. You can use the opposite hand to kind of give a little, again, traction. So you're lengthening out through that sideways. Another option would be to extend one leg and just take a single leg across. That might feel a little deeper. You may need a bolster or a block under that bent knee then to support, to bring the floor up to you. That actually feels really nice and restorative. You bring one leg and let the bolster lift you there. And you're just going to stay and breathe and receive love. Receiving love from the source of life. You can take any variations here from your twist if you want to extend that upper leg and reach it to the side. That'll give you more of an IT band stretch into the outer leg, the outer hip. If you want to bend that lower knee and reach the heel towards you, you can reach for that heel. And again, that's a similar thing to the pose we did before, where you're really opening the chest with that bind, a little bit of a twist. And then wherever you are, unwind that. Align yourself in the center, flip-flop the legs side to side for a moment. And then set up your props if you use them to the other side. Good. And second side for the twist. Again, either both bent knees, reaching over to the floor or a bolster, or that bottom leg can straighten and taking the top leg over bent. And again, if you want to extend that top leg, and maybe you can just clasp onto your pants or just give a little support. Take that extra stretch. And again, if you want to grab for that bottom ankle as well. Then you can unwind. Take anything else you need here. And then allow yourself to just find your Shavasana. And even in your Shavasana, again, if it serves you, you can imagine yourself lying outdoors somewhere among the trees. Maybe it's your favorite hiking woods. Maybe it's a tree in your front yard. Just imagine that you're surrounded by the energy of all of this beautiful, generous life and receiving their love, letting it fill you. And spend the last minute of your practice now offering love outward, calling into your heart and mind the people who you want to offer blessing to. And expanding beyond even those people, may all beings everywhere be filled with happiness, with peace. And as you're ready, you can bring yourself back. I know we're over time, but I'll just read this tree poem because I said I would. It's called Trees, a poem by Harry Behn, and that's the book. Trees are the kindest things I know. They do no harm, they simply grow and spread a shade for sleepy cows and gather birds among their boughs. They give us fruit in leaves above and wood to make our houses of, and leaves to burn on Halloween, and in the spring, new buds of green. They are the first when day's begun to touch the beams of morning sun. They are the last to hold the light when evening changes into night. And when a moon floats on the sky, they hum a drowsy lullaby of sleepy children long ago. Trees are the kindest things I know. Happy to Bishvat, everybody. Spread the love today.
Thank